Hi guys, how you doing? Hey, how you all doing? Back now. It's the fourth stream in a row. Just wanted to keep it going. They've been really good, real successful so far. So again, another day. It's another Phillip Schofield ITV this morning headline, and the big one with the Daily Mail revealed ITV paid for Phillip Schofield's lover astonishing showreel in which he interviews the host in this morning's studios. Channels Insider has asked why he was given extraordinary access. Well, we all know why he was given the extraordinary access that I guess, if you're just a runner there on the program, that the more than likely would not get. So this is now all coming out that, ITV allegedly paid for this showreel. They paid the kid off. Even were paying for the car rides from, Phil's place to the studios, right? Or wherever, where Matthew was at, to the studios. Hello, Cara. How are you? And yeah, this is all just coming out gradually, isn't it? With Schofield. And now there's going to be the big committee next week with MPs. I believe that's the Tuesday, isn't it? With the ITV bosses. I mean, for me, it's not just the ITV bosses. So, hi, DB, how are you? There's got to be. I don't stutter. Come on, George. I don't stutter. I don't have a stuttering problem. And even if I did, you shouldn't shut on me for that. But it will be the big thing now next week. Really, though, the committee, there should be a committee there when it comes to Victoria Newton, though, the editor of The Sun. But I guess the right thing would be to do the committee with ITV bosses first. Maybe, if you're doing the ITV, the committee with the Sun, that's maybe running before you can walk. So maybe that's the right thing to do it now with ITV bosses. As they say, woke ITV, that's the thing Dan Wootton always likes to call them, woke ITV. Eamon Holmes is the same. So, the Carolyn McCall, the Kevin Ligo, Martin Frizzell, and there's another guy's name I can't remember. But, all these, faceless, very well paid executives. So they've they've got a lot to answer for, right? I mean, how do you guys think that they're going to get out of this next week, right? Because it's not really going to be a thing of that they're going to admit that they lied, right? But how are they going to worm their way out of this? Like, what kind of answers are they going to give to the questions that will come their way, the grilling that they're going to get? But it's just that, and I think it was the guy, ex-Army Paz. He said that I think it's the end of this morning, Cara. Yeah, I think so, because that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, sponsors are going to pull out, right? Arnold Clark, they're not going to renew the contract. Expires at the end of the year. And I imagine this isn't, the share price must be down, right? Is the share price down? Look up here. Share price is down 1.83%. Been down 5.73% the past 5 days. Hey, Callie, how you doing? Anytime, mate, anytime. No, me and you, mate. We're both doing God's work. A lot of us out there are doing some good work on this stuff. Shout out to you, your video. Shout out to ex-Army Paz. Yeah, busy. Yeah, I appreciate that. And we'll get time. We'll chop it up. We'll have a great live stream. And ex-Army Paz, he's doing a lot of good work. He's still putting a lot of good videos out there. I mean, he's getting 300,000 views on some of his videos. Penny Bunny, yeah, she's another good one. I would check out Penny Bunny if you guys already have. So that, yeah, there's a lot of good people doing some stuff. But Roger, that's his signature, signing off, right? He's all right though. He's subscribed to my channel. He's an all right guy. One day I might have to have a chat with him. It'd be quite good. I don't know with it when it comes to the show though. Hiya, Maureen. Hiya. Yeah, and Paz is a good guy. I like him. When it comes to the show, I don't know if they can survive it, right? It is kind of becoming like the Titanic, right? With that show, and then you'll have Dermot O'Leary. I think he'll want to get the hell out of there, right? Alison Hammond. I mean, you hear all the stories about her, and all of a sudden, her and Holly are best buds, though, best of pals. But then there's probably ulterior motives there. Probably Alison Hammond trying to be all buddy with Holly because that opens doors. Yeah, no problem, Callie. No problem. Welcome back, man. But yeah, that obviously she's probably using Holly. She was using Holly that would help open doors. And it probably has, because look at her now. She's bloody everywhere, right? You can't get away from her. You can't get away from Alison Hammond. But from what I got from that interview, I think it was when Eamon spoke about it the other day on his interview, Eamon Holmes, that he was saying that kind of like that friendship that Holly had with Alison Hammond, that was kind of prepping, right? She was prepping that for Alison to replace. Alison Hammond would replace Phil. And I'm guessing that it's just a very kind of, they've only really been real close the past, couple of years, her and Holly, Alison Hammond Holly, that maybe Holly knew that eventually shit would hit the fan. And she was getting prepared, right? Because what is it you've heard in the news, right? A lot of stories. It's Holly Willoughby and Alison Hammond. It's going to be Alison and Holly on the sofa on this morning. But for all you know, that could be Holly's team. That's Holly's team putting those stories out there. You know? Daddy Alpha. Interesting to see who ITV put in front of the committee. Probably some patsy who can't comment on what he doesn't know. Well, yeah, I mean, Daddy Alpha, didn't they say that there was the guy, Kevin Ligo? He's the one that never comments on something and always just like, no, not my problem. So maybe they'll have him, right? He'll be like the sacrificial lamb, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be Frizzell, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm sure they'll all be squirming, right? They'll be bricking it. Kai, Philip was seen in Seoul crying his... Oh, gee. Yeah. He's nowhere to be seen. He is in hiding, Mr. Schofield. I suppose we can't blame him, right? But yeah, the share price is down of ITV. So it's been 5.73% the past 5 days. So this is obviously not good. Something's going to be done in business. It's all about money at the end of the day. And they're losing a lot of money. And they've essentially lost a lot of money to protect a guy who didn't deserve to be protected, right? And that's the thing with ITV. I was just thinking about that earlier, right? They're protecting people who don't deserve to be protected, and then they kick to the curb the people who did deserve to be protected, you know? And then we're hearing the stories now, you know. I don't know if you guys saw the interview before. Jody Marsh, not that I'm particularly a follower of Jody Marsh, right? But Jody Marsh was speaking about when she was, all the time that she was on this morning, and Holly and Phil always blanked her. She even, I think they were on a holiday. I hope he doesn't, DB. I hope he doesn't, though. Holly, they were out in the Barbados, right? And Holly was basically there. Maybe they had some mutual group of friends or whatever, mutual acquaintances, but Holly was basically just acting like she didn't know who Jody Marsh was, you know? But one thing about Jody Marsh, though, she has changed her look a lot over the years. Like she generally might have not known who Jody Marsh was. She's really changed, right? Color, hair color, you know, fat, skinny, whatever. But it kind of backs up what Sonia Poulton was saying, you know, about Holly blanking people, Holly, Holly ignoring people, they didn't even know the names of people there, the staff, other people. So this very seems much like karma, certainly karma for Phillip Schofield. And I suppose it's a fair amount of karma coming Holly Willoughby's way, right? I mean, it looks like now that Holly will be stepping down from this morning. We did see up my other video early on. She's removed mentions of ITV in this morning from her social medias. So that's usually a sign that when people do that, they're that's it. Whatever it is, job, association, whatever, that they're done. They're stepping away from that. That's the same thing that she did with with Philly. So, but then ITV though overall, I mean, after this though, if she leaves ITV altogether, what will be next? Would BBC hire her? I mean, apparently in the M&S stores, they've already pulled their ads down, right? So I don't know which big brands would touch her now, right? She's got her husband's very high up though, right? Husband Dan is very high up in the entertainment world, producer. So he would maybe sort some things out and have her ensure that she'll keep going on and prosper, survive really. Heard the ITV execs have hired a barrister. Well, they better, yeah. They are lawyering up, right? They got to lawyer up. DB, feel a bit sorry for Holly. Bet she you, but didn't know it would explode. So do you think that she knew all along, DB, that when the runner was on the show, that something was going on with the runner and Phil? What do you think there? Carter Rock. Right. Yeah. And I suppose the thing I have about Holly, though, is about her saying that she asked Phil if something went on, and he said no. But she hasn't made that clear when she asked Phil. That's the thing, right? She hasn't made it clear. When did she ask Phil this question? She could have at least said in that message on Instagram, I approached him in 2017 and asked her 2018, 2019, whatever, But again, yeah, there's questions there that got to be answered, right? And then there's the whole thing about Holly knowing that Phil was gay for some time, right? Didn't she say, quote, quite some time on this morning when it was the coming out? But then we saw a photo of Phil at the soap awards with his wife, Stephanie. So what do you all think? Holly and Phil used to go away on family holidays, yeah. But there's something there that Tim DB, someone said on the live stream last night that Tim had met her children. I remember someone saying that last night. Exactly, Cara. Yeah, she would have had a suspicion. But my guess is it never would have been something that anybody would have spoke about. It was just, I don't know, what was it they say in the army about when they used to say about if people, whether we're homosexual in the army, it's like, don't ask, don't tell. I don't know if you apply that to this situation, similar thing, but no one would, I don't think anybody would have asked him, I mean, did even Eamon make it 100% clear that he had asked Phil? Did he make that clear in the interview? I can't exactly remember if he made it clear or not. Did he? Yeah. That is true, DB. But a lot of this stuff just seemed planned out, right? I mean, Eamon did a good job of explaining it, I think, to be fair. When Holly read out that long ass statement on this morning, with it coming out, Eamon was saying about how Holly is supposedly dyslexic, but she had that there was a long auto cue statement she read from, and she just read it like a pro, you know? So I don't know, is Holly one of those that kind of uses the whole dyslexic thing to like, for her advantage? You know, like, I mean, like Matt Hancock's doing the same thing, right? About he was wanting to bring light to how he's dyslexic and dyslexic people that's why he went on I'm a Celebrity, right? You know, not the fact that he's no longer an MP and he needs to make money somehow, right? So it looks like Holly probably was doing the same thing. She'll lie low after the summer. Yeah, I agree, Maureen. I don't know if she'll attend the Soap Awards, though. Probably not. Yeah, I think they just got on with things, to be honest, Cara. They just got their head down and got on with it, you know? And they turned a blind eye, basically, you know? Never heard of Holly's dyslexia till yesterday. Same here, DB. Hadn't heard about that. It's just one of these things that she's had an interview claiming she's dyslexic, and it's that kind of thing where we got out all to get sympathy, but yeah, she's a funny one, Holly. I mean, I've Lakiva, Meghan. Are you talking about Meghan Markle, Lakiva? 80% Eamon. Cara, listen. I'm 85% Eamon. That's a little in-joke with me and Cara. But yeah, Eamon will be back, will he? He'll be doing another interview. You get stuff. Eamon will be back. I don't know. I don't think it's at 9 o'clock, right? Probably around 10ish. Eamon will be back. So Eamon will be back doing an interview with Dan Wootton. What do you guys think of Dan Wootton? Do you think I'm going too hard on Dan? I mean, you know my thoughts on Dan. Or am I right when I say that this guy's a wrong'un? What do you guys think of Dan Wootton? Because some might make the argument for Dan that Dan was just doing his job, right, with the story, and then, you know, when he did reveal that he was gay, that he praised him, being that he's a fellow homosexual, Dan Wootton. Have I got this wrong? I don't think I've got it wrong, but I don't see many people calling it Dan Wootton, though, right? Yeah, that's how I feel, character. That's how I feel, character. Yeah, he does have a darkness, and you just have to Google Dan Wootton Masonic signal. You'll see how he has the hand shaped. And he's doing that even when he's standing up posing in photographs. It's very weird. People don't normally do that, right? They don't do that thing, right? When you're standing up posing a photograph, you know? Johnny Depp, don't like Dan Wootton. Pauline, I'm with. Well, I mean, again, I'm kind of torn with that whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, to be honest with you, Pauline, but I'm with you, though. I don't like Dan Wootton, though. He's a lover of the limelight. Yep. What's the connection with Dan Wootton and Caroline Flack? Katie Hopkins hinting something. Is this quite a recent video she did, Daddy Alpha? I mean, there's the whole thing that Dan Wootton. It was just very, very damning articles about Caroline Flack when she had that thing with the guy, the partner, and she hit him with a lamp, and that was the thing she was already going to court for it over with the assault. And then it might have just been all the pressure of that, maybe just other general life problems, depression, and obviously look what happened to her. Dan all of a sudden, after she took her life, Dan's jumping on the whole be kind bandwagon, I mean, Dan's been caught out before. Trust me. He was shitting on Darius back in the day, but then he did like a gushing tribute to Darius when he died. So he's a hypocrite. Hypocrite with no morals, and I would say a liar as well. Lakiva, Meghan, you're better than Philip and Holly, and Philip told Meghan to shut up. Dan is a demon. I would say so, Lakiva. Phil told Meghan to shut up. Are you talking about Meghan Markle? Or are you talking about another Meghan here? Saltness Monster. Is this quite a recent video that Katie Hopkins posted? Because to be fair, she's telling it like it is, and she knows the deal, right? I agree. I disagree with Katie Hopkins on quite a lot of things. Some things I agree with her on, but she knows what's up, right? And she's like the one person that straight up said that basically he's waiting to. It comes down to who's the highest bidder for the kid, McGreevy, with his story. It's going to be the Sun, or it's going to be the Daily Mail. Maureen Dana wrong in, but he got the scoop. Absolutely. Hit piece he did on Johnny Depp for Amber Heard, plus how he did Caroline. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, and he knows the stuff about Meg's. He had the story on Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family. Saltness Monster, Dan is a Murdoch man. He was right about lockdown. Yeah. And that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that Dan Wootton's a bullshit. He might have, a lot of people might have gradually turned to the right when things happened with lockdown, and how it got so out of hand, You could cut maybe the government a bit slack initially. Nothing like this had ever happened before. But I'm with you what you're saying, Saltness Monster. He is a Murdoch man through and through. Makiva, believe me, things will come out by the media in UK. Wait until Harry. Interesting. But it depends. I mean, I just wonder if Harry went after the Sun. I mean, and then it got exposed about the Sun, their involvement in all this stuff with Schofield and the deal that was brokered for him to do the tell-all story of the Sun after this morning. He did the coming out of this morning. They should be really doing there should really be a committee there with Victoria and Newton there. Maybe the couple of her cronies there at the Sun, and then I would have Dan Wootton there, Colorblind. That was a tune cara, was it, back in the day? Colorblind. I liked it. Thanks, Lakiva. I appreciate that. The truth will set you free, right? I don't know. He was caught. He was actually declared guilty in court with phone hacking. But I mean, I think he did actually condone it, didn't he? He condoned the phone hacking. That woman that was like with the whole, with Murdoch, Rebecca Brooks, remember that? But she was declared not guilty in the end. But then again, come on, what you can prove in the court of law and what actually happens. And then if you've got high up people in positions like judges that are maybe in certain societies with certain handshakes, then, you can be protected, But yes, Piers seems to rise like a phoenix when you look back at this passion. Yeah, I know. He did well, didn't he, Maureen, with the whole getting sacked from the Mirror with those fake photos, right, to do with the British soldiers in Iraq, right? And then he bounced right back, didn't he, getting on the Britain's Got Talent show. And how the hell did they decide that Piers Morgan knows what talent is, right? When he was just some bullshit writer, get stuck with a showbiz type, whatever you want to call him, whatever he did, I mean, Meghan's the one that I don't really take to, Lakiva. I don't really like Meghan. Not a huge fan of Harry either, but I probably dislike Meghan more. But also there's so Boris Johnson, right? Boris Johnson, there's going to be the inquiry, and he's handing over WhatsApp messages and notes to the Cabinet Office. And there's going to be no redactions, I'm reading. But then you've got his former Justice Secretary, and there's a Lord Chancellor. He said, quote, there needs to be disclosure with agreed redactions. This is obviously important to see all the WhatsApp messages. We saw how with Hancock, that was pretty damning. with the WhatsApp messages. So has Boris got a few things that he's been trying to hide? It wouldn't surprise me. So the COVID inquiry chair, Heather Hallett, and all this has to be handed in. The deadline's 4 o'clock tomorrow. Why don't you like Meghan? Because she's an opportunistic, phony social climber. That's why I don't like Meghan Markle, to be honest with you. Can't stand Meghan. I'm the same, DB. No time for any of the royal lot. Some people have tried to say that about Kate, that she's lazy with Kiva, right? I've heard that before. Did she never really do any part-time work when she was younger? Is that what they've tried to say? She always tried to avoid getting a job. William always beat up Harry. Yeah, that was the thing about playing the victim. I didn't really get that personally. It turned into Meghan, but we say much more, BB. We can talk about a variety of things, but well, give me your take on Phillip Schofield, DB. What were your thoughts? Did you ever like him? Did you just always dislike him? What's your thoughts on Phillip Schofield? I don't trust Kate with her fake smile. Kate's not a good speaker, Lakiva. I don't know. I think she comes off to me personally with a lot more elegance and class than Meghan does. Poor guy attended a party and no one told him it was a party. But these guys couldn't organize a piss up on a brewery, though, eh? Sketchy from day one, old Phil. Absolutely astral. Thanks for joining. You're just a Kate hater, Lakiva. Come on, stop. She's all right. Better than Meghan, anyway. Never liked him on BBC in the broom cupboard. Yeah, that was the thing, DB. I've said this before, that Phillip Schofield in the 90s never stood out to me as a presenter. I can't remember him, right? Yeah, I know, Cara. It was a total mick take, right? An absolute piss take. Who dresses like Meghan? Oh, Kate. No, that is a figment of your imagination, Lakiva. If anything, Meghan dresses like Kate, not Kate dresses like Meghan. Oh, Dr. Range, though, now he's saying he's got a tough week. He wants us to feel sorry for him, eh? Well, you, mate, and then all of a sudden it's, that photo, you and the guy you called the resident stud on the show. Don't know, we should feel sorry for him. Him and Jason Donovan were an item. Maybe that's the case, DB. Something went on. Was it Schofield replaced them on that Technicolor Dreamcoat musical thingy, my bobber? Maureen. John. Hi, mate. Had his turn by a woman. There's a lot of people saying now that they think she's going to dump him, right? There was that royal, right? Was it Edward years back? He left the family, right? And then got with an American woman. Was she actually coincidentally an actress as well? But in the end, like, he died a very kind of sad death, where in the end she left him and he would just kind of mumble her name and that. And so some people speculate that might be what will happen with Harry in the end. But I don't know if that'll necessarily be that he'll have that type of sad, like sad fate. But they two were Nazis. God, man. And then there was the whole thing about the royal family with their ties to the Nazis. Diana seemed okay. I mean, she had her flaws, but don't we all? Diana, I mean, I probably remember as a kid looking at Diana when I was 5 or 6, and I thought, like that's the most beautiful woman in the world. To be honest, she was up on a pedestal. I mean, she was very well liked, very, very popular. And she might have been the first woman that I thought I loved, right? Her and Jerry Halwell, Ginger Spice. Did too. Yeah, Diana was a babe, right, John? Phil was making children's entertainment, did kids, but Auntie Dick. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Aunt, right? Because Eamon Holmes was trying to say that, what was it? He was saying that the whole thing when they were pretending like they were hungover, they're still a bit drunk from the night before with the NTA awards. And was that around the same time that was that Aunt had a DUI? And he was like saying that basically that was in bad taste. And at the same time, him and his wife Ruth are not allowed to do an TV advertisement for chocolate. Yeah, it's one standard for another, isn't it? How ITV led them to promote drinking alcohol. That's it's a valid point, isn't it? I mean, and I understood what Eamon was saying. I can appreciate what he was saying. I mean, years and years ago, doctors would tell you smoking was healthy for you, So Diana will always be the queen. You're American. Okay, yeah, I agree about Camilla. She's a nasty. She seems like a real nasty piece of work. And it was interesting that what Harry was saying, right? That in a weird way for Harry, right? He didn't like her, but he said that he wanted her to be happy though, and because that way she was less dangerous. And like I understand that. I felt that way about certain people I've had a kind of maybe I didn't like and admittedly had a bit of a grudge with. But yeah, he wanted her to be happy because that way she was less dangerous. So that should tell us a few things about what Camilla's like. Early days of Saturday TV. Well, I remember Saturday TV, Astral. I was Noel's house party back in the day. Hi Melissa, how are you? Noel's house party, and then I suppose Live and Kicking, that was the big show back in the day. I'm trying to remember who exactly presented it when I was growing up watching it. But Live and Kicking was a good show, and then they had CD UK, Aunt Dick, Cat Dealey. Good times though. There was decent programs back now. I imagine it's all kind of watered down. It probably ain't the same though, is it? There's probably a bit more of an authenticity to the TV back in the 90s, even before that, the 80s. Camilla's a monster. Yeah, I would say that. Where about in America are you from, Lakiva? Where are you from in America? Hong Kong. You're from Hong Kong. You live in Hong Kong, John. So Meghan wants to be commander in chief. Meghan wears the trousers in that relationship, right? Pretty damn evident. Sorry, Gav, you spoke to Diana once. When was this? Was this when you were a kid and it was like came to your school or something like that? Or are you just bullshitting? Royals did the royal families from their defect. Yeah, it's pretty sick that, isn't it? That all that intermarrying and the interbreeding. Yeah. So any more news come out yet? Holly still at this morning. For all we know, she's already decided she's going to leave, though. I mean, you had the former ITV boss earlier saying that she's now damaged goods, Holly. I suppose she is. But she can survive it, though. That's one thing. She can survive it. 19. That's no. Well, she died in 1997, Gavin. So you're full of shit. yeah. She died in 1998. Come on. So you guys, will you be watching the interview then? Eamon Holmes, Dan Wootton. Is this part 3 now? Gee, how many parts are there going to be of this? They're dragging this on, right? Feel sorry for all children. Well, there's good and bad, isn't there? There's good and bad in any family like Eva. You know, there'll be a high quality of life, amazing privilege, but there'll be a lot of things that even to them as kids instinctively will feel a bit weird, that they've got to go out and do that thing of smile, wave, and it's kind of like putting on a bit of a front, you know, and that might be tough for them to deal with, you know. Met Princess Anne, she was ridiculously good, Cara. Or thanks, Akiva, thank you. And the scandals truly awful. We must remember mental health. Everybody gets help in sport. Yeah, I agree, Melissa. I agree. I mean, it's even. I mean, as I say, I want to make this clear when it comes to Phillip Schofield, right? I don't want him to, bloody top himself. You know, I don't know if other people feel a certain way about this. Callie P might feel a certain way, but we can agree to disagree. Penny Bunny might feel a certain way about this, but I wouldn't want Phil to do that though. I don't want that to happen. I just want to make that clear. Carrie Katona. I bet Carrie Katona has some stories, right? I imagine she was on the show with them, right, Melissa? But yeah, Jodie Marsh though, she really went in on them. You know, went in on Holly as well. Da da dee da 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 dee da da da. It's quite a catchy song, that. Was it Crystal Waters that did that song? 91, 92, around then. I know the rapper T.I., he sampled that one. Some slower down though. Da da dee da 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 dee da da da. Yeah, but Dr. Range though, we can't really feel sorry for Dr. Range though, can we? Though we can't feel sorry for him, right? Because you know he's just kind of jumping on the bandwagon all of a sudden now, Maureen. You know. She attended the 50th anniversary of this. Yeah, I love Crystal Waters too, Maureen. It's a classic. I'm a big fan of 90s dance. She attended the 50th year anniversary of the 1970 lifeboat disaster. My maternal grandmother was aboard and died. Oh, no. And it wasn't just a thing that something happened and she was like late. She just didn't give a shit, Cara. She's caught up in whatever it was, car traffic or... Well, some people say that she's a bit of a badass, though, right, John? And she did kind of undermine what her brother Charles said, King Charles, that you know Charles was saying that it only be the more senior royals that will be more active, and then she kind of she disagreed with that. Refused to shake my 10-year-old's daughter's hand at the time. That's pretty shitty, is it, Cara? But you know what? You see that thing with the Pope, right? The Pope does that thing where he'll be shaking everybody's hands. You'll see footage of it online. And then when people get too up close with him and want to like almost kiss his hand in that, you'll just move his hand right away. Like total glad handing with a fake smile and that. And as soon as they try and get too close, it's like he just snaps his hand right away. I think I've seen him even try and push people away as well, the Pope. So, got tons of CDs still up in the attic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of 90s dance. I like Incognito, Maureen. A lot of the David Morales mixes and stuff like that. John David Byrne does a good live cover of that. David Byrne. I have to look that up, John. Is that kind of like a acoustic? Is it like more acoustic style of that, or Stop kissing the ring finger years ago, even the bishop's ring. Well, yeah, Lakiva, I think the UK media, as much as they say that, oh, Harry, Meghan, just go stay in America. We don't need you. We don't want your. Oh, they would love it. They would have a field day if Harry came back, Lakiva. Yeah, that seems pretty cold, Cara, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that about your grandmother, by the way. Or your granddad, sorry. I'm bad with reading. I'm kind of dyslexic. Yeah. So you really like Harry and Meghan, Lakiva, right? Also, I'll look that out. Sometimes cover versions are different, are good. Like sometimes covers are all right. Sometimes they're better than the original, right, John? Because I would dare say that UB40's "Can't Help Falling in Love with You" is better than Elvis, his version, right? What do you think? Maybe you disagree, maybe you don't. I'm trying to think what else cover version. I don't know. I think Incognito had a song "Always There" in 1981. That's a classic. I think that was a song from the 70s. Yeah, UB40. Yes. UB40. I'm into UB40. Burning down the house. That was a song that Tom Jones did, right? Yeah, I like Meghan and Harry. No, I don't. I'm bullshitting, Lakiva. I think you're just saying this for shits and giggles, right? You love them both. And Amanda Holden, she's trending, I see. Apparently, a lot of people saying that she's a right bitch, though. Yeah, not a lot of Amanda Holden fans online. Thank you, Lakiva. Thank you. You're welcome round anytime, Lakiva. We disagree on Harry and Meghan, but no, you're all right, Lakiva. Amanda Holden. So there's a lot of people that Mr. Schofield was a dick to. She was one of them, right? So I think was she like filling in for Holly? Was she filling in for Holly when it must have been, was it her first pregnancy? Holly. That's when Amanda filled in for her. Sorry. No problem, Lakiva. Anytime. So Paul Solemn, John. That's. I think if I know that name. Paul Solemn. Oh, so this David Byrne song was from 1994, Gypsy Woman, She's Homeless. All right. Might have done a version 93. Yeah. Was that the guy that I did that was on the did he sing on the King's coronation, that guy? He rings a bit, the face looks familiar. Yeah, Burn Down the House. Is that the one that Tom Jones did, Maureen, I think in 98 or 99? I must say, even as a 9-year-old kid, I like Tom Jones. Like Sex Bomb was a pretty good song, right? Remember the Moose T remix? And then there was the the original. That was good though. See how God will bring out the truth in you, Holly and Philip. The truth will set you free, Lakiva. That's what I always tell people. William loves himself some Rose. I think William's been doing some other things on the side, though, right? Yes, Stephen Tom did a cover version. Yeah, because it was also as well, Tom, remember Tom Jones, Maureen in the Stereophonics, right? They did Mama Told Me Not to Come, and that's an old song. I didn't know that at the time, right? But that was another good song back in the day. Mama Told Me Not to Come. That ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun. Tom Jones Astral, yeah, because Tom Jones, Tom, he's caught up in that whole thing with Kitty as well, right? He's caught up in that thing with Kitty as well, Steven. Yeah. Tom Jones is not bad, to be fair, Maureen, because I remember "Baby It's Cold Outside," and that's the song they now say is politically incorrect, right? They say Delilah now that's politically incorrect. He's getting a lot of his songs cancelled now, Tom Jones, eh? Tennant's Trent to Derby, What a Wonderful World. I mean, that's a song, Daddy Alpha, so many people have covered, though, eh? That's got to be up there when it comes to like yesterday, like when it comes to the amount of people that have covered a song, right? Classic, though, no doubt. You similar taste in music with Daddy Alpha, Maureen. What's your thoughts on rap, R&B, hip hop, Maureen? Are you a fan? King Charles is sick. What are you talking about, Lakiva? You just making up stuff about King Charles. I'm not really a fan of King Charles, though. I mean, he seems to be kind of pushing that kind of woke, kind of the whole climate change, the whole WEF agenda. So I'm not a big fan of King Charles, really. Started punk. I feel like I know that name, but I'm not that familiar with him, John. When was that guy? Would that have been like, you're talking, I take it, late 60s, early 70s? Maureen, I love all types except for heavy mental shite. Heavy metal. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, to be honest, some heavy metal's okay. Probably a lot of the emo stuff, though, I'm more kind of like classic rock. I like the Beatles, I like Stones, I like the Who. I like a bit of the Doors. Those guys. Eric Clapton. I need to listen to some more Eric Clapton to appreciate him, Cara. Bob Dylan. My dad saw Dylan in 82 or 83. I think that was when he was going through his born again Christian phase. A lot of the critics, they slate his music though from that time, right? Was it not that good? Not as good as his early stuff. I know I like the Beatles though. I'm into McCartney, I'm into Lennon, their stuff, even the stuff when they're in the band, even their solo stuff, He would be okay, Lakiva. He would be okay, to be honest with you. He'd probably be better than Charles. He'd do a better job than Charles. Here Comes the Sun, Cara. Yeah. I heard a really good cover version of Here Comes the Sun. It was on the music channels a week or so ago. I'm trying to remember the band that did it though. It might have been from like 75, 76 time, but yeah, that's a good song. Brought up on reggae like Steel Pulse, Aswad, disco tunes. nice. Yeah. Because I like reggae more. I'm very much Probably mostly more. Probably I'm into music from Black culture. Disco. I'm into disco dance. That's good. Yeah, specials. That would have been a good time to be around back then for groups like Specials, Madness, UB40. That would have been those have been some good times. Daddy Alpha, you're a big roller, and you know it is. My mom went to school with the drummer from Bay City Rollers. Their manager was caught up in dodgy stuff, wasn't it? To do with was it images of like child porn, and one of the members of the band was caught for that as well. Not the guy my mom went to school with. I think he was the guy, the drummer, Woody. Emmanuel Mbisa. I'll look up that name, Cara. What are they saying? Any more breaking news on Phillip Schofield? No big stories, other big stories. What's the exclusive now? Scandal hit ITV. Up. Grandmaster Flash, yeah. Yeah, I love that song, Maureen. Yeah, don't push me. Paris in the Metro. Nice, Cara. Take a note of that. Now she would be. She's not. Megan's not even that much of a bitch. But then, I mean, you've got Harry that's doing that book. He's done that book Spare. So I'm guessing Megan going to do another book. What's the problem, Denise? Can you not hear me? What's the problem with it? I need to speak closer to the mic. Is that okay? Sorry. Hi, Shamad. How you doing? Yeah, I think that happens sometimes, right? It can just be like that. That's good. Yeah. It can just lag in, lag out, can it? Oh, yeah. Bloody YouTube, eh? Same old, same old. I was actually thinking of doing it was a video about Jay-Z, and it was the controversial lyrics about Tina Turner, right? And it was the whole thing about the Ike Tina Turner relationship, and wasn't there like something to do about her, like when Ike shoved cake in her mouth, right? When it was like he was getting real jealous of success and people wanting to get an autograph. They were in a diner, and then Jay-Z pointed at like, "Oh, I'm Ike, you're Tina. Eat that cake, eat that cake." That's the thing with like, I get like when you're a rapper and even like you're a comedian, you're creative. You're going to say things that are out there that are that are controversial, that are going to kind of elicit that kind of response in people to be like, oh, like kind of thing. But that was maybe going a little bit too far, though, right? Like Tina Turner had performed with Beyonce in the Grammy Awards, right? It was 2008. Did that seem appropriate, though, that Jay-Z bringing up that thing on a song that he was on with his wife Beyonce, who had performed with Tina Turner in the Grammy Awards 5 years before the song? Was it Drunken Love or whatever? Or I never really thought much of that song, Crazy in Love was a good song, to be fair. And, Christ, that was probably the first time I'd heard of Jay-Z was that song, Crazy in Love, I hadn't heard of Jay-Z before. So obviously, the Beyonce marriage served Jay-Z well, though, because it was very much a perception thing. All of a sudden, Jay-Z is known as like the king of rapper, the best rapper ever. But I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's great, like the best, though, A Margaret Carrigatona. Is this Dan Wootton who'll be interviewing her, Margaret? Maybe she's got some stories about Philip and Holly. Oh, very nice, Maureen. You've got a tartan kilt, Maureen. Very nice. I shouldn't probably say this. I don't have a tartan kilt, but hi, Georgina. Remember Bill Wyman and poor Manny Smith? He met Manny Smith in 1984. That's probably the most classic case of just abuse and grooming, right, Georgina? Well, I think she'll be telling some stories on Philip and Holly then, Margaret. Yeah, so that's a classic example of that. And she was 17 or 18 when she married Bill Wyman. And I mean, that was the thing with women, how they could be big hair, makeup, they can look much older, but how the media just gave him a free pass, right? That Bill Wyman, no one really condemned them, right? Yeah, he loves the drama, Dan. You're right, Lakiva. He's a total drama queen, isn't he? Yeah, Cara, you've got a point there, Cara, and that's maybe what we'll get. I imagine that's what they'll probably talk about, right? Because that was the thing when she was really slurring her words. It was really, she was in a real bad state. And I suppose, really, when you think about it, they took advantage of her, right? You couldn't maybe just necessarily blame Phil personally, but the show, the people there took advantage of her, I don't know if that would be the people that are still there, the big bosses. Maybe was it Martin Fizel? Was he still there on the show? Was he editor of the show at the time? Yeah, absolutely. You needed help, not exploitation, judgment. I agree, 100%. I've never worn a kilt. My chicken legs dictate that. Yeah, I'll tell you something, John. I always skip leg day, right, at the gym. It's leg day is a bitch. 101%. I agree 102%, Cara. Don't start with me. Yeah. But yeah, I'll check out that interview though, see what she has to say. I imagine it'll be the same thing that Phil was mean to her. He never said hello. Holly always blanked her. I imagine that's what's going to come out. But I will check it out. She was high as a kite. Yeah, but wasn't her person at the time, Maureen? Wasn't it Max Clifford? He was the one representing her at the time. And then look what happened with him. So what do you guys think about this whole thing with Hancock? Sorry, not Hancock, Boris, right? Some real shit that gets exposed with his messages, the WhatsApp messages. I mean, they're all going to get. They're giving. He's handing them all over. It's got to be by 4:00 tomorrow. He's handing them all over, right? It was pretty damning with the stuff with Matt Hancock, right? There was always something odd to me about when it came out that Isabel Oakeshott, was going to be doing his book, writing his book. That felt a little bit odd to me because she seemed to come off on Twitter kind of like anti-establishment. I find that a little bit strange. Yeah, I know. Max Clifford, he was a real piece of shit, right? What was it that he told Steve Brookstein, the guy that won the X Factor? Funny enough, his wife was a music teacher at my. What was it? He said to Steve Brookstein, "Talk the press, or we'll bury you." He said that. Lakiva, the Spares were born to be unhappy, live a horrible life. Queen's sister had a horrible time. Yeah, a lot of them just don't have a good childhood, right? This was the thing with Harry. I do have some empathy for Harry. I've got some empathy with Harry because of, um, you know, basically the whole time, right? He's there with, growing up with his mom. Prince Charles has really been going behind Diana's back with Camilla. I mean, that was more or less going on the whole time, right? That's the type of guy Charles is, right? That's the type of guy his father is, and the guy we're supposed to fucking pledge allegiance to. You know, it's really is ridiculous. Yeah, another perv. Yeah, he was pretty bad, Max Clifford. Yeah, he wasn't, but that was one of the guys that Simon Cowell tried to defend, right? Max Clifford, and then there was that guy Jonathan King that ended up being a paedophile. He's no good. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Charles, really, Lakiva. I'm not a fan of Charles. Not a fan of King Charles. Living in the best houses, having the best education, flying around the world, eating in the best restaurants must be effing shite. Yeah, it's not. You can't feel too sorry for them, can you, John? I mean, the only thing is, as a kid, if you don't have that, stability of like your parents both together, happily married, I mean, it can't fuck you up in the head, whether you have money or not, I was been very fortunate to have my mom and dad happily married 37 years. And even as a kid, I knew it was a blessing, when I'd see other kids that didn't, their parents divorced, I did know it was a blessing. So it doesn't always come down to money, but you can't. They've had a lot of privilege, high quality life, very privileged, high quality life. So I don't feel too sorry for them though. Charles has got a very bad temper. Yeah, Maureen, I know that. Who are we talking about, Daddy Alpha? Are we talking to William or are we talking Harry? Because yeah, I mean they don't look alike. I mean, yeah. Some would say probably definitely William is Charles' son, but maybe not Harry. I think there's theories out there about that, right? I would definitely say Williams is dad though, Daddy Alpha. Yeah, and there's the whole thing about him, King Charles being so, about the whole thing about the environment, but with windmills. But then I think there's another real motive behind that he's the whole climate thing that he's getting a lot of money with that whole. So there's other, he has an invested interest in that. It wouldn't surprise me if Harry isn't really Charles's son. So, any thoughts, guys, on the whole stuff with Boris tomorrow? Will anything get exposed? Anything real bad with certain messages? There was a whole thing, wasn't there, about get what, live longer, let the bodies pile up. Wonder if anything else will stuff like that come out. I'm not keen on royalty. I would say I'm the same as you, John. I would say the same. I'm sure. You don't know. You don't know, Maureen. You never know. Okay, I think that's past an hour. I think I'll wrap it up now. Just getting a little bit, tired now. Probably need to get a little bit of a bite to eat. Maybe have a bit of a rest. But I might not. Sorry, Sakara's saying it'll be more of the same. Not me. I didn't do that. I didn't know. Yeah, I agree, Cara. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously pretty damning with the Hancock WhatsApp messages, wasn't it? I mean, but it was quite funny though seeing Hancock when he fought the testing. They had done such a good job of testing, and then you had buddy, George Osborne putting him in his place and said, nobody thinks testing's going well, Matt. It's pretty bad, when you're Hancock and you're making George Osborne look good, making buddy Osborne and Cameron looking good, then you're pretty incompetent. Yeah. Well, the plan is, remember, Cali P, the Divided Kingdom guys. We're planning on we're talking tomorrow. We're gonna do a long chat tomorrow. So it looks like I'll be on his channel tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna call it a wrap. Just call it a day for now though for the stream. Been another good one though. But yeah, look out for me on Divided Kingdom tomorrow evening, and we'll do a chat then. But I think now I'm just gonna grab a bite to eat, and later I'll have a rest. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you joining. See yous. Bye.